Yes, they're important information for you, Sir Beam Hassenfelder.
Just think the galaxies be large particles that transmit information from an object that is so massive and dense that it radiates energy, from which new expanding galaxies are created from the center outward during the journey. The object in question is naturally very far in space, outside the expanding visible universe. Similar objects would be infinitely numerous in infinite space, and they would always circulate the existing physical concrete, the existing matter, which is already a pushing force in itself. The speed of the expanding galaxies pushing away from them would accelerate for millions of billions of years. And at the same time, this energy spreading into space will spread more and more evenly into space. Eventually, the energy that has become very fast and evenly dispersed into space begins to encounter new expanding galaxies and new expanding quarks, through which this extremely fast energy, when pushing through, accelerates the expansion of the expanding quarks. The pushing through of the expanding quarks begins little by little to slow down the speed of this extremely fast energy. A small part of this extremely fast energy gets pushed to the center of such a very, very massive and dense object that hits the trajectory, and there, under extreme pressure, it is compressed again into extremely dense energy. At the same time, it displaces or pushes the energy that was pushed there earlier and compressed into extremely dense energy away from the center. And the slowly accelerating movement away from the center of such an extremely massive and dense object begins again. And there would be an infinite number of these similar objects in space, and in each one a corresponding recycling. And that changes completely with time. During the push away from the center, and due to the expansion of the sector, dispersion into a larger and larger area of space becomes possible. Accordingly, the further away from the center of the object in question this extremely dense energy gets, the more it begins to encounter the pushing energy, and in collisions the dispersion of this extremely dense energy accelerates. And through this, the speed away from the center of this object accelerates, accelerates, accelerates. So no other forces would even exist. And these other forces are not needed to explain any phenomenon. Yes, I have thought about this, and I am completely convinced that all phenomena, starting from magnetism, are explained by a pushing force. It is important to understand that it is not space that is expanding. Space is an infinite three-dimensional stage that is nothing at all. Space cannot do anything. Einstein opened Pandora's box of physics when he pulled the concept of curved space out of his hat.
This is very important information for you, Sir Beam Hassenfelder. Yes, the truth is too much for all physicists and cosmologists. Not for me. I was the only one who correctly predicted what would be observed with the Webb telescope. Fully formed and massive galaxies in the very young observable universe. I explained in advance why such things would be observed. In reality, galaxies form rapidly from the center outward. First came the expanding supermassive objects at galaxy centers, each in its own Big Bang in 3 spatial dimensions. These expanding supermassive objects emitted zillions of separate, expanding dark matter clumps, from which new expanding stars formed quickly.